Nature will tell you when it's time to cut back your garden for spring, and nature is telling me it is time to do that today. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Michelle and I garden in Atlanta, Georgia. And on this beautiful February day, I'm going to show you how to prune roses, hydrangeas, and perennials. What are the things that you need to be cutting back this time of the year? And what are the things that you absolutely do not need to touch so you do not cut off their blooms? All you're going to need is your favorite pair of garden shears. Of course, mine are pink, and just a couple of minutes to get your garden ready for spring. First off, let's talk about hydrangeas. This time of year, there are only two types of hydrangeas that you are going to want to cut back, and we are not touching anything that blooms pink or blue. If it blooms pink or blue, those are likely mop head hydrangeas, and those are the hydrangeas that bloom on old wood. Also, we are not going to touch any hydrangeas that have a cinnamon stick type bark right now. Those are going to be your oak leaf hydrangeas. No touching those. This time of the year, what we are pruning back are your panicle type hydrangeas and your hydrangea arborescens. Your panicle type hydrangeas, limelight, vanilla strawberry, limelight prime, pinky winky, firelight, firelight tidbit. They have conical white blooms that age pink in the summer, and these are hydrangeas that tolerate full sun. The goal with cutting back and pruning hydrangeas is to make sure that you have a strong frame that's able to support next year's blooms. So what we're doing when we are cutting back these hydrangeas is that we are getting rid of any thin, weak, spindly growth. We are decreasing the overall size. So I'm going to cut back my hydrangeas to about a third. And anything that's thinner than the width of a pencil, I'm going to remove, as it will flop this season when these are in bloom.
So here's what my limelight hedge looked like before, and here's the after. This is a no stress pruning job because panicle hydrangeas are so resilient. These are super tough plants, so even if you cut them back by half, even if you cut them back all the way to the ground, they will still bloom amazing for you this year. These are hydrangeas that bloom on new wood, which means the branches that grow this year are the ones that are going to produce a bloom. So you have no chance of cutting off any sort of blooms. You're really only trying to create a strong frame for your hydrangea so that they don't flop in a late summer rainstorm. In general, when you're pruning, you're looking to prune right above leaf buds. Here's an example of a leaf bud on a panicle hydrangea. You're looking for that bulge on the stem, and pruning right above that at a 45-degree angle will help to limit the spread of disease and dieback on the plant.
Now that you're experts at pruning panicle hydrangeas, your hydrangea arborescens are going to be pruned the exact same way. The types of hydrangeas that are in this family are things like Invincibelle, Annabelle, Invincibelle Spirit, and Invincibelle Spirit 2. I used to say that if a hydrangea blooms white, the time to prune it is in early spring, but there are technically big leaf hydrangeas or hydrangea macrophylla that bloom white, like Blushing Bride, and I think there's even one called like white big leaf hydrangea. So you can use that as a rule of thumb, but know that there are exceptions. So with these hydrangeas right here, all I'm going to do is quickly cut them back by a third and they'll be good to go. This is also the time of year to prune back roses. So I prune them back to about knee height, which I think for me is about 18 inches. My roses here in the south seem to perform better with a harder cut back this time of year. And so that's why I cut them back pretty hard. Again, when I'm pruning roses, I am looking to get rid of any sort of growth that is thinner than a pencil and might kind of flop and looks weak. And I'm also making those cuts above a leaf bud that points outside the shrub. This is going to promote a rose shrub that doesn't have a lot of interior crossing growth, but instead branches that are going towards the outside of your rose.
Even though roses have a reputation for being a very finicky plant, and in their own way they are, mostly because they're so susceptible to disease, roses are still a very tough plant, and there's not too much to be concerned with when you're pruning them. You really can't do that much damage because they are very vigorous growers. I prune back hard 2 times a year, once now and then once after their first flush, so that they're able to reset during those really hot days in summer when they start piddling out anyways. For this prune, the key things that I'm looking at removing are any sort of weak branches like I talked about before. Also, I'm looking at the canes, and if there are any that are rubbing against each other or crossing, I'm going to remove the weaker of the two canes. Another very important thing to keep in mind when you are pruning your roses is that you want to sanitize your shears between each rose. That way you're not spreading disease unknowingly across all of your roses and you're keeping the diseased shrub isolated. Roses aren't something that you have to stress about when you're pruning. Don't overthink your cuts. Just go ahead and make your cuts. Roses are vigorous growers. There's really nothing you can do this time of year that isn't reversible.
And the last group of things that I prune back this time of year are perennials and grasses. If you prune back your perennials in fall, this doesn't apply to you, but basically anything that's looking a little bit crispy can be cut off now, and especially your grasses, you want to go ahead and cut back now, because otherwise, once the new growth starts growing through it, it'll be very hard to cut back the old growth, and you'll just have this kind of tangled mess of growth from this year and growth from last year. So it's much better if you give it a fresh chop now.
Most perennials can be just completely cut back to the base, and that includes grasses. Your fresh new growth on these perennials are going to grow from the ground up, and so getting rid of everything now will give it a clean slate for later this spring. Now, there are some perennials that are woody perennials that I'm not really sure if it's a shrub or if it's a perennial, but these perennials this time of year can also be cut back. I'm thinking about things like hibiscus. Those I whack back 12 to 18 inches. Caryopteris, that's something that I'll whack back in half or so. And Russian sage, I cut that back in half as well this time of year. If you're growing grape hyacinth or muscari, that's another perennial that I cut back this time of year. Otherwise, the foliage starts looking very noodly and way too long, and it doesn't affect the bloom at all if you want to cut it back as well, so you don't have noodle leaves.
So now I feel like my garden is ready for spring in less than an hour, and with just your garden shears, that's really all it takes to get out there, cut back some of that old growth that is left over from last year, and give your garden that jump start for the amazing season ahead. If you like garden content, I hope you will consider hitting that subscribe button. I share all about what I'm doing here in my garden, what I'm planting, what I liked, what I didn't like, what worked, what didn't work, so that hopefully I can help you garden just a little bit smarter. Lastly, I want to close by saying thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting my channel, and I will see you in the next video.